Hello and welcome, builders and future space cowboys. So, what I am going to be going through in this video, as you guys can read, is AI systems. You guys know that I am all about systems. I mean, the company is called Self-Built Systems. So, at the end of the day, I want you guys to really understand one of two things here. Firstly, why AI and systems are the most powerful thing that you are going to have to pay attention to in 2025. It is the highest leveraging thing, and I will prove my point in saying this. And also the second thing, I'm going to show you in this video how you are going to use the stuff that I'm showing you and directly just do it in your business. Okay, it's going to be like that. There's going to be a template, also a downloadable template in here, which I will be giving you guys for free, but you will have to sit with me and to see where I give it to you so that you can actually figure out, obviously it will be linked down below, but if you just take it, you won't know what to do with it. But anyways, there is a bonus also at the end of this video, so let's get right to it. So the question here is, how can AI agents, aka systems, help businesses? Now, before we jump right to it, I want you guys to please do me a favor. If you guys have been enjoying the content that I've been putting out, do leave a like on this video. If you appreciate it, if you found value out of it, leave a like, leave a comment in the comment section down below on what I can improve on. I do need you guys to also know I am building a little bit of a YouTube studio setup, a lot better desk setup. I mean, right now I'm just sitting in the office, Saturday, just sitting in the office, but all of that stuff is being built. I already got my mic, and you guys will see it soon. But anyways, so let's walk through this process. So again, if you guys don't know, I run Self-Built Systems. We are a 6 to a 9-figure growth partner. Why do I say 6 to 9 figures? Because in the beginning, obviously, we did work with companies that also didn't have revenue, but now we focus on a lot more projects that are already producing revenue, around 6 to 8 to 9 figures. We recently got involved with one of our first 9-figure projects. That's why I'm just saying this. But we ideally and primarily help companies on the systemization and the AI component when it comes to the actual revenue model, right? So all the stuff that we do leads to a company making more money at the end, and we really specialize on the systems component. And also, obviously, it goes hand in hand with AI, which you guys will see in a few. So who am I, and why should you be listening to the stuff that I'm going to be sharing to you? So my name is Jean-Jacques. Like I said, I run Self-Built Systems, a systems and AI partner. I've already mentioned that. But anyways, so Self-Built Systems was founded in 2022. And we have now grown into a venture builder where we are positioned, obviously, not just working with tech-oriented projects. We focus primarily on tech, but there's been a lot of things that you guys will see. I will be talking about it in the new year, the new partners that we have, partnerships in the private sector, all sorts of different and interesting things globally too, which I'm very excited to share with you guys. But anyways, so I helped my friend Timon Creek basically scale something called the Gifted Academy. Just not too long ago, okay, we helped them grow from 5 to 6 to 7 figures. There was a bunch of stuff that we did on the optimization cycle, on the revenue cycle, and I recently got headhunted by a PE firm called Solar Invest, where we've been working on a lot of different things. So anyway, so you guys know a little bit about me. So let's get right into it. So what we are looking at here is obviously this cycle, like where is all of this coming from, okay? So a wise man once told me that if a bird cannot be afraid of heights, and this is something he was just talking to me about. It was one of my mentors. He said, "Man, look, if you're afraid of picking up the book and reading something, or if you're afraid of a new topic or coding or learning how to code, then you're like a bird that's afraid of heights." So this is what I want you to understand. I am not a full stack dev. Okay, I know some basics. And that's why I just want to put a disclaimer out here. You don't need to know how to code, okay? You just need to understand the basics, and I'm going to show you the rest. That is why AI is so magical, okay? And why you have to be paying attention to this, because otherwise the other people that pay attention to this are just simply going to replace you. That is the truth that we're faced with here. So this is just an example here, the first ever time I made a video about AI stuff, as you can see here. When was this? Let's just see here. It's about 2-3 years ago, but anyways, you guys can go see the details on that because obviously not a lot of views, which is not the point. The point is, I know the people who saw it needed it at the time. But anyways, so this was also one of our first clients that we worked with, a trader from France, Matisse. They run Toast. FX, but they're doing very, very well right now. You should definitely go check out their work. But anyways, let's get to the point here. So I want to start with what we have actually built. So a physical thing that I can give you guys, like a template thing that you could just download and make it so much easier, as opposed for you sitting and building this thing from the scratch. Because I can tell you right now, if you are on like level 1 of your understanding, this is going to be a bit tricky. You know, it's like picking up a new book. Like I mentioned, it's hard in the beginning, but then it's like driving. It feels like rocket science the first time. You get better, and then boom, you're just doing it while you're not even thinking. So this is where we are with this. I will give you guys also this template. It will be linked down below. It is on NA10, and I will get to that, a little bit later. But here's also, this is something that we've built. I want to show you guys, this is a lot of different other things that we built. This is specifically in the dating industry. There is a lot of different interesting stuff that we are working on there. This is a company called Modular Dating. It has interesting AI in the inside of this machine. Okay, it's like the Shopify of the dating industry, which I will probably make some videos about this next year and talk more about it. But anyways, so AI, it's the new electricity. Okay, AI is like electricity, which is a general purpose technology. This is why everyone, in my opinion, should be paying attention to this. There's also a recent conversation I've had with one of my friends that are a lawyer. I explained to him context around this. He was like, wow, can you show me more? Can you, so that I can bring some more value to my firm? So this is also stuff that we'll be talking about a little bit later. So new AI applications create many new opportunities to build new applications. That's what we're faced with, okay? So trends in the environment is quickly what I want to start here, because then we're going to get right to the building part, okay? So we're seeing here we have agentic systems. It's supposed to say agentic systems, but you get the point. So also agentic AI, there are different words that you will hear, been thrown around on the internet. And there's also a few things where I want to break down for you so you can really understand it. Because we cannot get to the building part before we're understanding what we're actually engaged with here, okay? So workflows consume a lot of tokens. This is what we're saying, agentic workflows. They consume a lot of tokens and will be beneficial basically from a point of being able to move faster, cheaper token generation. And you guys can go check out the examples here. So today, agents are built by AKA taking LLMs trained to answer questions that go from like an initial workflow, as you can see here. So now you open up ChatGPT, you obviously start talking to it. I call it manually, okay? But now with the agentic flows, you have now also seen where you will, for an example, put something into ChatGPT and it will say at the bottom, what about this? Can I add this? Can I do that? It's the most basic English way to explain that, okay? So let me just see something here real quick. In agentic workflows. Okay, cool. We touched that. So data engineering is important, and it is rising, particularly in the management of unstructured data. Okay, text and images, and text processing revolution has arrived. The image processing revolution is coming, and we will be enabled to basically use visual AI application in entertainment, manufacturing, self-driving, that kind of stuff. So examples here, like big companies, like LinkedIn specifically as a great example, what I want to use, they are also advancing super fast and building their own agents. As we will see now in 2025, is there will be new things that you can use, because LinkedIn is literally connecting people, right? Business people connecting together. And this is one, way of autonomous agents, how they will interact with inside of LinkedIn. We will see what they will put together, but a lot of big companies obviously are already doing this, right? And you can see also HubSpot, everyone's trying to build their own agent machine kind of thing. So anyway, so all the big companies are trying to figure it out, as I've mentioned, right? And agents, let me just move this row here. So agents here will do the redundant tasks, and humans will have more time to do the creative stuff. That is the big point of this video. Okay, there's a lot of points that I'm going to make and that I'm going to go through, but that's one of them. So, and also humans will be deleted that don't pay attention to AI. It will leave you not being able to move faster, just about understanding how to communicate with the technology. So here, LLMs. Let's start with the bare basics. Okay, bare basics on LLMs. Understanding human language, semantic text, or semantic meaning behind human language is to understand the abstract concepts behind human language and generate text output. So machines struggle to do this before LLMs, and ChatGPT, Google Bard, Claude, Amazon's Nova, Grok, from Elon. Now, this is obviously a visual representation of that. So building and using LLMs. Now, this in the past, it required extensive technical knowledge, okay? Hard code, that's why I said in the beginning. I was going to learn properly how to code, and now I know some Python basics, and I've scratched the surface with JSON, but I'm a noob technically, right? When it comes to actually hard coding. Now, what allows me to move faster is because I understand how to communicate with the tech to a point. But if you have deeper technical expertise and understanding, of course you will still have the upper hand. So that's why I'm just saying I've spoke to a lot of devs that are still stuck in their old mindset that this doesn't write good code or whatever. It's like they are going to get left behind, and people like you are going to be able to surpass. That's the thing. So now let's introduce something called Langchain. Okay, so Langchain. Langchain is an open source framework, JS and Python. Now it enables basically the chaining of models and action barriers. So it's basically allowing to perform the LLMs to perform a more complex task. Now it reduced the barrier for building real world AI applications, as I've just explained there too, right? So we're going to look at something called the abstraction levels. We're going to go from a bottom up, we're going to go from bottom up, but I want to quickly get to this first. With the abstractions levels, there are different ways that you can communicate with machines. Now that's the whole point which I want to make here. But the question here is, where does Langchain lie in this process, right? So let's go back here. Let's quickly see here. Now, hardware, CPU, GPUs, that is at the floor, okay? Then you have your OS, which is your Mac, your Windows, your Linux, and then you get your machine code and you get your programming languages, Python, which I obviously mentioned. Most people will know this. And then you have your libraries of framework, or most people would have heard about something like Python, right? Might not know it in depth. So API service, and then obviously we have the deployment tools. There's a lot of them, okay? And then you have the application level. Now this is where most humans operate in between, using something like Make, init, Instagram. So Langchain allows you to build AI-powered applications more effectively and faster. And it's like the thing that most things are built on, which we will also get to. So the application level is where most of us are operating, which I just did speak about, right? And most tools like init and Make are probably using Langchain in the background. So what can you build with LLMs and using Langchain? So autonomous AI agents, conversational chatbots, data analysis systems. Those are just a few examples involving actual language input. So Langchain Basics, this is what we're going to get to, is the framework where most things are built on. And this is what we're looking at here. We have in between a router chain and a sequential chain. Now, I'm not going to go into the depths of the details of things here. I'm just obviously going to mention it to you. You can do your own homework in terms of diving deeper into this. But chains are sequences. Let me just move this here. Chains are sequence of operations or steps where each step is either a function or a model or action that depends on the results of the previous step. Now, concepts of chains and no code, obviously something like Make, for me, it's like the visual component of the more technical, like blah, blah, blah. So this is what you're seeing here, right? Now I am going to quickly show you something here, which is over here. I just want to quickly pull it up on Make. So this would be an example of it, right? As you can see here, you have a notion. So you have a notion, which is your start point. So here you have your router, you have your Google Calendar. So this is a template. There are tons of different templates. I just wanted to use this as an example because there are tons of different things you can do with Make. Okay, tons of different things you can automate throughout this process. But this is just a prime example of just showing you what the visual would look like, right? So let's quickly go back here. Now, moving on here, Langchain Basics. So we have agents as an LLM with a tool. So can make decisions and act as obviously reasoning engines. And then we have interactive tools, autonomous, does not need constant human input. We will still need a human in the loop. That's why I'm saying it's so important that you learn how to communicate with the tech. So as consequences, it is able to auto-correct itself when errors appear. Okay, so less human needed. So Langchain like agent examples are as follows. So I'm just going to quickly show you how this will work. So this example here is like of a graph. So I'm going to say here, show me a graph of the performance of Tesla stock over the last 12 months. Now what's going to happen is step number one, you'll see here, is it's going to run. So we're going to say, okay, let me check web API for current date and time. Hits the first, then we go, okay, cool, over to the other API. All right, so today is 16 December 2024. Let's look for, more data from, obviously June to December. And then what will happen is that it will go, okay, fantastic, great. Third step here is now I have the stock price of the data and I will generate the graph for this. And it will go and it will populate the thing, right? Because here it runs obviously to Python. So now here you have RAG systems. Now I want to start with saying that RAG is obviously retrieval augmented generation, okay? Now, with this being said, there's a few things that we will run through when we get to this thing called agentic, but I want you to really just understand RAG from a basic component, right? So techniques here to enhance large language models, so like LLM, by connecting them to knowledge sources. Now here, okay, let me just first go through this before I come here. So address limitations of LLMs by allowing them to have reference knowledge base outside of their training. We have stored information for users, and we have then combining the following elements, which I will explain now. And then you have obviously the embedding models, vector stores, and LLMs. So here you have this human, okay? So you'll see here is the question into the framework. And then from here, from this perspective, you have the semantic search into the vector database, which we'll be breaking down in a few. And then from the vector database, obviously, it goes back into the framework, into the LLM, as you can see here in that flow. So that's why the framework is so important. However, what we want to do here in this RAG representation here is you want to eliminate this guy, okay? Why do we want to eliminate this guy? Because firstly, I want you to understand that RAG is not AI agents, okay? RAG systems only receive additional knowledge, and it is not autonomous. And it also cannot solve complex problems. So what we're looking at ideally is we want to place the large language model here inside of this RAG system. And then obviously you have web search, and here down here you have the Python IDE, okay? So which will then obviously be interacting with inside of this framework. And also here, obviously, I need you to just pay attention to this embedding model into the vector database and obviously into the large language models, which is the full framework perspective. So this is also a representation of what it would look like. Obviously, it would run from the LLM to the web search to the RAG to the Python IDE, which I explained. But anyway, so vector spaces. Now, the axis is a vector store. So let me rephrase that. The axis is a vector store space that represent the latent learning futures, okay, of data, not concrete or manually defined properties. So each point in a vector space corresponds to an embedding vector fixed dimensionally, and this positions a vector along the same axis. It determines their distance from another, which is obviously then used to measure similarities between each item. Okay, now that might sound very complex, but at the end of the day, it is the thing. For example, if you have a vector database, or if you have which we will get to the Pinecone vector databases in a while, but if you have a vector database, think of it as something as you take a Google Doc or something, or excess data, and you just stick it in. But we will get there, and there's a process where it will run through it. So this is the part which is super exciting, which is called multi-agentic systems. Okay. Now, it's the AI agents that are able to think for themselves and use the tools. So you put them in a group and they are able to operate with each other. So remember that first thing I showed you, that first screenshot? That is what we're going to go through in understanding how they operate and how they work. So you could ask it to create a game, or you could ask it to create a software from scratch, and it will be able to go ahead and do it. Now, here agents work together to build the app or the software, like engineers and marketers would work together. Stuff like Crew AI, Chat Dev, Stack AI is a bit expensive, and Microsoft AutoGen is things that we're going to look at a little bit later. But it's a chain of smaller, it is a chain of smaller specialized models, as long as for example, the tasks are not highly interdependent. So AI agents versus AI automations. Now, they are not the same thing. However, you can make AI agents act like automations. Now, AI automation, let's go through this one first. We follow fixed rules to complete specific repetitive tasks, okay? And then you have reacts based on predictive workflows. And then you obviously have AI agents can make decisions and take actions independently and flexible. It's flexible in order to adapt to new situations and learn from the interactions. So why are the agents like a big deal? Okay, so it can handle complex human tasks. So that's why I said it's going to delete redundant humans that are lazy. Okay, so we have mimicking humans in text-based tasks, and then here we have speeding up of the process that traditionally requires manual effort, automating customer service, lead gen, stuff like that, and then enable human focus on creative and strategic roles, which is the cool part, right? The fun stuff where you can actually get creative. So agentic AI. So non-agentic workflow is something I will refer to, but it will sound like this. It will say, please type me out an essay on topic X from the start to finish in one go without XYZ. Now in an agentic workflow with advanced reasoning, as you guys have seen, as I explained just later, well, not as I explained like a few steps back, is that it will write an essay outlining on topic X. So do you need any, web research? Write the first outline on the draft. So what will happen is it will keep expanding on the thing, right? For you. So one important component here, which I just want to make a point on, and I see a lot of people faced with this right now. I've had a chat with one of our technical guys in our team, and people are automating their brains in this process. Like they're losing the capability to think. So I always want you guys to first use your brain in this process before you actually get to automating anything or using an agent component. So please first use your brain all the time, because your brain is technically the supercomputer, right? So that's what you need to remember. Now, what we're going to quickly go over here, I'm not going to go over all of this stuff here, but I want to scrape the surface real quick. So for agentic, because I want to get to the fun part where we can actually just show you how it's built and how it's worked, or how it works inside of N8N. But anyway, so here we have agentic agents. We have the research findings on agentic AI and multi-agentic systems. Excuse me. So we have single specialized agents. So when an agent has a specific, well-defined role, as for example, finance agent, marketing agent, it performs better because it has a clear context and a scope of decision making. Now, it also can develop deeper expertise, so domain expertise, as you would have the sales guy, the marketing guy, whatever, right? You get the point, right? Now you have agents, specialized benefits, more consistent output from their domain. So the whole point here is that, you have specific ones that operate in specific domains, which work in between with each other to have that final output. And then you have obviously multi-agent collaboration, which is what I basically just explained now. And then you have optimal pairing examples, a research agent plus a writing agent, better, obviously research, better writing content, you get the point. And then this is actually demonstrated in N8N workflow, which I will be sharing with you guys soon, which we will go through. So multi-agentic systems here is that we have the core structure, which is, for example, the router agent, the manager that delegates the tasks. And then you get obviously the key benefits, which is parallel processing in complex tasks, better problem solving capabilities, and then the real agent examples. We will get to that now soon. So here's just a little visual to show you what this actually looks like. So you have, and this is also from 2023, right? So I need you to understand this, where I just pulled this image from so you guys can see where this is from. So designing, coding, testing, and obviously documenting. And then you have the interconnected framework where they all work together to have a specific outcome. Now, building your first AI agent, what is this going to look like? Now, I must really get you guys to understand that Python uses IDEs, known for front-end code, and to host service and things like that, right? So this is the a little stack. We're going to get to the AI stack a little bit later, but this is what it would look like: Python, VS Code, Langchain, Vercel. Okay, but however, you don't need to use too many different complex tools. There are things that you will need to use in partnership with each other, but you can start using something like N8N. Okay, why? Because N8N is good for learning AI agents. Well, that is the question. It's because it is like voice flow and make combined, right? It's like they had a baby. They pop N8N out. So N8N is great for you to understand LangChain. You also obviously stay a couple of abstract layers away, and all of the logic can be handled inside of N8N. That's the cool part of it, right? So here we get to the fun part, the demo time. Now run your entire business with AI agents. Now you'd be like, oh Jay, that's not possible, bro. Well, I'm going to show you what this step one looks like. Okay. So first, I want you guys to jump into this book called Exponential Organizations. It's a book by Michael S. Malone, Peter H. Diamonds, and Somali Ishmael, if I pronounced that right. It's called Exponential Organizations. Very important to read for, to program your brain further in understanding this stuff. Okay. So here, this is what we're going to look at. So I'm going to quickly share this demo time here with you guys. I'm also going to pull up like a recording on my phone here, which is going to work, together with us here. So first, let's open up N8N here. So as you guys can see in here, this is Overlord C3PO to run my business. Okay, I've always wanted a personal C3PO. They just never wanted to send me one. But anyways, so now I just decided to build my own C3PO. So here, what you guys can see here, obviously, ideally what we have here is, let me just zoom out a little bit. This is what the flow looks like. I am going to walk through this flow, and again, I will pull up some example. It will probably be on the left or the right side of your screen. I'm not entirely sure. It will be somewhere over here, where I'm going to show you guys the physical example as we're going to run through this. But first things first is I want to quickly just show you guys obviously how the zoomed out version, and then we'll go step by step what we're actually looking at here. So here you can see I already tested a different flow on different things to show you guys how this will work. But first we have the initial test trigger here. Now, in order to build this, obviously, you will have to engage with Botfather on Telegram. It's not that hard at all. It will take you literally maybe one YouTube video to figure it out, but really not that hard if you know absolutely nothing about Botfather or Telegram. So there is a switch node in here. I'm gonna, get in between. It's not a deeper technical video on a switch node, but it allows you, as you can see here, to switch in between voice and text. And then you have here, you have another Telegram node, which obviously passes on to OpenAI, which is the model that it's ran on here. Always, my opinion is when it comes to your agent, you always want to give it the best brain. Okay, so this is not, when you think of it as like your super brain or your second brain kind of thing, your brain is obviously needs to be the most advanced trained model. So you could have hooked up anything else here. It's just OpenAI is just easy. So take it from there, do what you want with it. I mean, you can have your own technical jazz or whatever. So here we have an edit field node into the AI agent, into Telegram, which is the second message on Telegram. And obviously here you have these expanding arms over here, okay? So here you have the following. You have your agent. What I need you guys to understand here about the agent is the following thing. I want to quickly open this up here. So what's important here is this thing here. And again, prompt engineering is important. And I highly recommend you, get like a storehouse of prompt or a database, or whatever you want to call it, of prompts that you can use, to refine different things, because it will help you in communicating with the technology. So let's read this here real quick. You are a helpful personal agent of Jean-Jacques. Your role is to take his input and help him get things done. So you will help him with a number of tasks, including his calendar, email, to-do lists, several other tasks. which may be more complex and require you to delegate to a sub-agent. Cool. Okay, so obviously then, you go to the deeper depths of the details of things. Google Calendar, Gmail, sending, getting, and then obviously you go down to this into this process where there's flux, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and then the note-taking section, and then here we come to the fun stuff. So here is where you will be actually be delegating things to a sub-agent, which is your marketing department. So call on the sub-agent if there is a marketing task related to a social media or a content or paid advertising. Now, sales department, you get the whole point, lead generation, booking meetings, using infrastructure calendar things, and then agent, finance department, call a sub-agent if there is a finance task related to bookkeeping or stuff like that. So that's why this is super important. Now, if we move over here to the next thing, which is obviously so first we're from the agent, there is I've already explained this part into the second message, and then you have the model here too, but then down here you have a window buffer memory. Now this is a technical thing, which you don't really need to put it in here, but it helps it with the process of defining things. I rather would say it like that, but we can get into this a little bit later. So just know that it helps in this whole process. That's what I'm basically trying to say. So let's quickly explain vector store tool here. Now it works in combination with the Pinecone vector store. So let's just go into the vector store first. So first you have to understand that the vector store is simply the most easiest way, like I said, to try to understand it, is that you are going to take data from outside and you're going to put it into something where it's stored. So if we go to Pinecone and we basically read the following here. This is not Pinecone. So if we go to Pinecone and we read the following here, so we have Pinecone documentation. So Pinecone is the leading AI infrastructure for building accurate, secure, and scalable AI applications. Okay, use Pinecone database to store and search vector data at scale, or start with a Pinecone assistant to get a RAG application running in minutes. Now, obviously, we've went through all of those things, and there's different. You can come and read the documentation, really good documentation on here, right? They've done a really good job. So if we come back to our flow, which is over here, okay, so they work together. Now, then obviously you have the assistant, which is connected to here, chat model, and then you have the embeddings with inside of OpenAI. Now, obviously, all of this is connected to the OpenAI API. Now, you have the following things there. You have your emails and stuff there, but let's quickly look at this as per example. Now, I'm going to take my iPhone and I'm going to quickly, obviously, flip this up whilst I record my screen. So I'm going to say something like this. I'm going to use this Red Bull can as an example. So help me write some sales copy for how we can better sell Red Bull. Okay, so what we have seen here now is, obviously, as you guys can see it here, will take a few seconds to load. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just quickly click save here. So you guys will see I will test this here. Now, as you guys can see it actively working there as it will go. Let me just remove this thing. I'll probably put that there. Okay, as you guys can see there, it goes through the iteration here. It takes a small few seconds. So I just want you to see how it actually is going and doing the thinking part with inside of the AI agent and the OpenAI chat model. So just give it 1 second, because what's also happening is, okay, here we go. As you guys can see this here. So obviously when you're going to see this, it's going to be somewhere on the screen, but I'm going to read it now here for you. So here is a draft for your sales copy to better sell Red Bull. Now, also what I want you guys to understand is in the vector store, I uploaded simply took what you want to call it, an SOP or whatever your data is on writing copy on different, I don't even want to say best practices on writing copy. We have a system that we've designed for our copywriting inside of Self-Built Systems, which I literally just took and I put it into the vector store, right? That's where it's pulling that specific information from where it needs to take the action. So let's read it here. Unleash your potential with Red Bull. Feeling drained? Need to boost or conquer your day? You need a Red Bull isn't just an energy drink. It is your go-to resource. Now, Point is, this might be iffy sales copy. It might not be fantastic sales copy, but you can actually take it step by step in a sequence where you can first say, if you have like frameworks that you have inside of your data, and then you can say, generate me ideas of writing sales copy, because if you're not a copywriter, you'll start there. So to help you generate ideas or frameworks or best practices, and then from there you're going to tell it, okay, cool, now go ahead and generate me sales copy, or you just can go straight and then do it. But you can go and refine it. I'm not here to refine it, but you get the whole idea, right? So firstly, actually, before we continue with this sales copy example, I want to just let's finish the sales copy example, and then I can obviously just show you the rest of the getting events and stuff like that. So now what you can also do is the following. So now obviously it has populated this sales copy. Now what you can tell it is to obviously work with the marketing department. So now we're going to say, thank you very much. Please help me refine the sales copy, and once you're done refining the sales copy, please pass it over to the agent in the marketing department and make sure that they are able to double check it and then place it on the Facebook ad platform. Now, obviously, it's not going to do that fully, because let me just show you here. So it is obviously not going to do that fully right now, because this is not, it's cheating basically, right? It's not fully built out yet, but you will see the output in terms of what we are shooting for, right? As you will see there. Just give it 2 seconds to load. See what it comes up with. First, we're going to refine it, okay? And then we're going to pass it to the agent in the marketing department, where they will place it for ads. Now, what ideally can happen here is that this here will work like a ads manager. In any performance agency, you'll have a specific, you'll have the manager that has clients and stuff like that. It will be able to do, the exact same operational, technical things in terms of placing ad strategy. There's always a human that needs to oversee it, right? And then here you'll see that there will be a little bit of a problem, obviously, because it cannot have that final output there, but you'll get the point here. So we're just waiting for it to populate now. Just give it 1 second. All right. So now, as you can see, the path that it took here. So let's quickly see here. The refined version of the sales copy for the Red Bull has been crafted. Here's your enhanced copy. Okay. However, it seems that there is an error in sending it to the sales copy to the marketing department for posting on Facebook. Could you please verify, request, or let me proceed? But anyways, you get the whole idea, right? So there you have generated your stuff over to there. Now you have the same once the marketing department is built out, once the sales department is built out, and once the finance department is built out, they will work together, right? Now that's one example. Now let's quickly do one other example here, where we will, firstly, I actually made a note on the flow that I want to take here, so just give me 1 second. I just want to see where are we right now. So let's roll the calendar one first. So first we're going to ask it here, following now. Okay, so please help me check for availability on my calendar for this weekend, or actually just for today. Test the flows. You guys can see how it's running. Okay, so as we can see here, today, 2024, Bri with the gents, drinks with the princess, and then obviously you have free time before this and that. So obviously that's not one example. Now, the next thing which we want to actually look at here, is I'll just pull my notes here closer in the sequence. What I want to go through is create an event on the calendar. So can you please help me create a calendar event basically for my meeting that is on 2 to 3 Monday with the investment guys? Okay, let's see what happens. Boom. Now, let us go to the GCal. Click the GCal. See for today, got those two. Let's quickly go over here. Monday. As you can see here, okay, there's, I will blur this out. Obviously, that's another meeting. And here I have meeting with investment company created. And I don't need to push a button, I just need to talk to something, right? So, you guys get the point though, right? So get email, so basically do a sending of the email. So let's test this flow here. Okay, let me just get this one up here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna focus on here. I did test this before the time just to make this is like sure that it works. Can you please create me an email and send it to triplejog.com and remind him about reading and going to the gym tomorrow? Okay, see that there? Okay, so it says here that it has been sent. So obviously it didn't spell the email correctly, but I'll just give you the idea. Okay, so let me click on the email. Okay, as you can see here, sent emails. You have this email being sent here. Hey there, just a quick reminder, okay? Go to the gym. So you guys get the idea there, right? Hey? Okay, so let's quickly finish this one up here. So that is pretty much it. I mean, there's a lot of different walkthroughs that we can go on through here, but you guys get the, the gist of it, right? So let's quickly go here. Now, AI no-code tools are conversational AI chatbots. Obviously, you have VoiceFlow, Chat Builders, BotPress, Voice Agent. You have Bland AI, Vapi, and well, I don't know how to pronounce this, but anyways, you get that point, right? So now Bolt, WebSurf, Cursor, VO, they also like are different tools when it comes to building, which you can definitely go check out. Adoption in enterprise agents. I have talked about this. I mentioned this about LinkedIn. Daily Wait has integrated AI-driven tools, automating financial data and analysis and the analysis of analysis and reporting. JP Morgan and also Lenovo they've been doing some stuff with agents, right? So now prompt engineering and data, the two big words for 2025 in my opinion, okay? Or what, like, if you're a builder. So considerations when building AI solutions that are high quality. We all know that data is king, obviously, right? And prompt engineering is learning how to better communicate with technology. And here is a framework you can follow for your system prompts. You have role, objective, tools, detailed, concise instructions, and output and format, and examples, right? Now let me quickly do this here real quick. If you guys want me to put an example of this and show you how this is well, what this will look like is you're obviously going to take this framework and you're going to justify the role, justify objective, justify tools, detailed, concise instructions, output format. You guys are smart, so you'll get it, right? So other useful things to know, integrations and APIs, additional notes for tweaking. So method one is the API calling. So request method get information from server, host equals, obviously you need to send information to the server through your API. So sending data for SEO, you want to scrape it and retrieve it back on the info. And then obviously you will first do the post request and then it's going to do the stuff and then obviously retrieve the data, right? So then request URL. So obviously a few bullet points here. So you want to request URL. Where am I sending this info to? Request body. What are you sending it? Or rather, what are you sending? And they are varying depending on the service you are using, right? And then also request headers, authorization, because the service does not know, who you are. And it's also not free, right? So then you have the response body when you are doing obviously the response body when you are doing the getting of a request. So method two, which is the easiest in my opinion, okay, which is a webhook URL sending something and then you are expecting something back, and then request body and only post requests, right? So this is an example of it on Make, which I have shown already, okay? So if we go back to the Make platform, you will obviously hear in this example, if I zoom in here, you will see here that this is the chaining sequence, but you obviously get it, right? So when we come back here, so I need you to, excuse me, I need you to learn the basics of Python and Java, which is going to be very, very important. Okay. And yeah, I need you to get a little bit into the trenches with that. And this is also just using conditional logic, which is going to be important. So learn the following: variables and data types, conditional statements, lists and arrays, and then parsing data. So authentication types here, you have auth 2.0, which is more advanced authentication. Okay, method used that uses tokens to provide access to resources on behalf of a user. Then you got the access tokens, which is generated after a consequent and also used to authenticate requests. So then you have referral tokens used to obtain new access tokens with inside of the authentication. And then you have understanding that the client's needs. You know, obviously, when you're building projects, you need to understand the client's needs more, effectively. And this comes with practice and creating flows and initial architectures. So creating drafts and initial architectures, also called digital mapping, is going to be important. I mean, I showed you already what it looks like just in terms of putting your thinking on what I could call paper or digital paper. But now here, agents will do the future, just in conclusion of this video, right? So agents will handle autonomous specific tasks and answer questions, etc. Tasks that connect to software and uses text, and then obviously voice solutions. And then human employee will work on more abstract tasks, PR, meetings, in person, personal branding. Why that's also still so important. Why I keep making that, that fact of the matter. The human to human connection is going to be more important. So the AI stack, which I quickly want us to cover here. Now, any tech stack, if you're builder or tech-oriented guy, you would like to understand your tech stack. So let's look at the AI tech stack. Now, this is a older version of it. There has been more advanced, things that have grown, but I want you to understand a few things here. This is where I put a list of one of the more recent ones. So first, what we're looking at here is we've got the different foundational layers. Obviously, from the bottom up, you have the compute plus foundation. Now, foundation models of like OpenAI, Anthropic. You obviously get the jazz of that. And then you have the second layer, which is the data. Okay, and then you have the deployment. You have the observability, right? So this is one. I'm not going to go through all of this here, but this is a more recent update. If you guys want me to just send you this, I can. Like, I'll just put it on a doc and I can send you this. But the update here, which I quickly want to just scrape, is that applications, obviously, which I talked about, right? Again, working from top down to bottom up. You can go through all of these different ones. Again, if you want me to send them to you, I can send them to you. And then foundational models, and then cloud infrastructure, and then obviously bottom up with semiconductors, hardware. You guys get it, right? Now, I can go into a deeper dive if you guys request me to make a video on deeper technical things. Again, I am also not the most super technical person that you can find. I just enjoy learning about this, understanding, and also then building upon it, right? My team is a lot more technical than I am when it comes to super in-depth technical stuff. That's why, we just work in tandem with the best. So I need you guys to understand that. I really enjoy making these videos for you guys. And as a builder, you need to understand this, okay? This is just why I'm making these videos. So please remember to like this video. Again, it helps push the algorithm out for more builders, more space cowboys to see this. And if you have found value in this video, let me know. Let me know what you think. And also, if there's any other videos, let me know in the comment section what you guys want me to touch on. What can I improve? Again, I am bringing more higher quality content, audio, and all sorts of different things throughout this process. So again, my name is Jean-Jacques from Agentic Systems, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.